Hey guys, this is Dan from learningcameras.com, and I've got the brand new Canon 70D, and we're going to really be putting this through its paces, putting it up against some other cameras. I also have the Canon 7D and even the 5D Mark III that we'll be putting it up against just to see how it compares. I'm especially interested to see the video mode on how it does, but since you really don't care about the unboxing of this, I've got a treat for you, and that is we're filming with the Canon 70D right now, so you'll be able to see how this works. Now I am using the autofocus. It's built into the camera, and we are using a Tamron 24-70 f2.8 VC lens. This is one of my favorite lenses to use for video because it's stabilized, 24-70 constant f2.8, and it'll work on full frame cameras as well, which makes it so nice. But actually on an APS-C, this is still a great focal length to work with on these cameras, so a very nice lens. So far, I will say that everything is performing exactly how I would like. I was a little bit worried at first that the third-party lenses wouldn't be supported as much as, let's say, the Canon 18-55. This is the STM lens. This is a kit lens that it comes with, and it's just a horrible feeling, cheap lens that it comes with. However, it does have that STM, so we're going to put it up against this and see how that functions. The 24-70 does seem to be a little bit noisier on that. However, if you've got an off-camera mic, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you're using the on-camera mic, you might notice that a little bit. But once again, we're going to test that as well. And we're going to take a look at the camera in a little bit too. But just so you know that you can keep up with us at learningcameras.com. We're going to be putting a bunch of videos. You can follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us down here. And also, we're going to have a forum opened. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them there, and I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you have over the course of this. Also, feel free to follow us on Twitter. We're at Learning Cameras, and you can check it out because we're going to be posting some cool things that we find out about this, and anytime we have some updates, we'll go ahead and put those up there too so you can see the difference. But now since we have some basic settings, let me tell you, I'm shooting this at f3.2 at ISO 400. So just to give you kind of a basis of what we're looking at on this camera, and we're going to be putting the 70D in our hands right now and switching to the Canon 5D Mark III. So you're going to be seeing the difference. We're going to use the same lens so you can kind of see the difference even in this very first video between those two cameras. Now already between the two cameras, I will say there's a couple things that I've already begun to love about the Canon 70D. One is that unlike the 5D Mark III that I have shooting this right now, I do have a flip out screen, which means if you're ever doing some kind of self-recording, or if you're ever coming from an awkward angle, trying to shoot above people, things like that, you can get a much better angle perspective with something like this. Whereas the Canon 5D III, generally I'm having to either try to put my eye up to the viewfinder, but if it's on the ground, sometimes I'm having to guess. So, I actually do like having that sometimes. Now, comparing this body, Canon does say that it has some O-rings and stuff like that for a weather sealed. It feels pretty plastic. Not too bad on the fit and finish. Definitely not going to be top-notch anything, but definitely a step up from the Rebels. Nothing like the 7D that I have right here. So this is a much heavier duty body. You can definitely feel more of a metal finish in the 7D than you can in the 7DD. But it's still, pretty good for the size and type body that it is. However, the 7D right now is right around that same price, so keep that in mind. Now, we will be putting these two cameras side by side once again, really seeing if Canon is able to improve on anything. It's been about 4 years since we've last seen anything really new from Canon on this. So it has a brand new sensor. We have new megapixel number on that. We have a 19-point AF system, which matches that of the Canon 7D. It was nice to see AF micro adjustment on there. It was also nice to see some of the advanced settings that I do have on this that I have on some higher end cameras for fine-tuning how the autofocus is going to perform. And then we're going to be taking a look at that brand new live view autofocus mode that Canon is really stepping up its game with, and really nobody else has anything like this on the market. So we're going to be taking a look at all of those things, but just basically a walk around the camera. We do have a microphone in, HDMI out. Now right now it is not, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be clean HDMI out on this camera as of now. But one thing that we do have is we do have Canon's new video recording mode. So we have that all eye compression, which is a low compression versus the standard IPB high compression. This is something that was brought out on the Canon 5D3, and now we're seeing it on this camera as well. The 6D also has that as well. So you're going to get a much better quality video than you're used to on the older cameras, just because it's a little lower compression. Now it will use up some additional hard drive space. Now we do only have a single SD card slot. That was one of the big negatives that I saw on this camera when it did come out. I like having two just in case I need backup for something like a wedding, things like that. I mean, I've never had a card go bad, but when it does, actually I have, just not one of the nicer SanDisk memory cards that I use. So when a card does go bad though, you don't want to lose everything on that. Now this does have built-in Wi-Fi, so we're going to be taking a look at that, how the app performs. We did take a look at the Canon 60 when it came out. It does have Wi-Fi as well, so I'm guessing it's going to be just about the same functionality. I don't know if Canon's made any updates to their app since then, because it was pretty basic as we observed in that review. But maybe they've gotten a little bit better in some of the functionality, but we'll definitely be taking a look at all of that. So there's an overview of the camera. You know, everything on it feels good. Coming from a 5D Mark III, coming from some of your higher end lenses, this lens, first of all, it feels cheap even on a body like this. I'd probably recommend upping the lens quality from the 18 to 55, but I did want to get an STM lens just so I can test it to make sure that there weren't it wasn't anything big on the STM lenses that we're going to miss out on some of the higher grade third-party lenses, or even Canon's regular non-STM lenses, because they don't really make anything high grade in an STM lens. Most of the lenses are kind of I mean, you can get some a little bit better than this, but not really your Pro L lenses or anything like that are going to come with that. Now, we do have some differences that I did notice. One is that this scroll wheel is definitely significantly smaller than what we're used to on other cameras like the 7D. So that's something you're going to notice right off the bat. I will say it's a little small for my taste, but it does get the job done. All the buttons seem to be well placed, and you can navigate them very easily with your thumb, and it really just does the job well. So, you know, it doesn't quite feel as good as the D70-100 from Nikon. I did have that in, and that camera does feel a little bit better, a little bit beefier in the hand. However, this feels this feels like what you're going to expect from your cameras. It's a step up from the 60D, just not quite up there to what we're seeing from some of the competitors. However, there are some things that are different between the Canon and some of the other competitors, so we'll take a look at that. So yeah, keep up with us on learningcameras.com. Definitely subscribe, follow us on Twitter @learningcameras, and we'll keep you updated as we put this camera to the test, and then we're going to have a full review on this coming up.